about smart cities a lot over the last few months. The government's new initiative, everybody is very excited about it. But then, what is a smart city? Suddenly, why we are so interested about smart cities? What are the benefits smart cities will give us? And how we can create smart cities? Will smart cities be a government initiative? Will it be a public sector initiative? Will it be an SME initiative? Will it be a private sector initiative? Will it be a partnership between all the various industry segments as well as the government? How will it all work together? These are the questions that we are aiming to answer in this session. And I hope with our eminent panelists over here, we are able to discuss and debate and come to some conclusions. Obviously, we all sort of know today that smart cities will come together as a partnership between the public sector and the private sector. And today I will specifically from Vodafone's perspective present to you as to what Vodafone has done and how we see the smart cities ecosystem developing within India. So obviously smart cities mean smarter living, but what does smarter living mean? Now, I'll give you a few data points. In 2007, there was more population around the world living in cities than rural areas. So the transition between rural to urban, where urban population was higher than rural population, happened in 2007. And by 2050, leading consultants have forecasted that approximately 70 to 75% of the world's population is going to be living in cities. Now these cities will be either existing cities that will be developed, made smarter, made more mature, with better infrastructure to handle these additional inhabitants, and also newer cities that will be created over the course of the next few years. We've already seen how China has rapidly created cities and smart cities, and the same thing has to happen in India, both organically as well as a little bit in developing more cities, newer cities as well. Now, as cities become bigger, they have to become smarter because as more and more inhabitants come in, then there is a load on natural resources, there's traffic, there's consumption of electricity that increases, there's issues with basic infrastructure, public services, water, and so on and so forth. And we need to make cities smarter to make sure that the cities is running smoothly and the usage of resources is optimized. And I'll come to what smart means, but then let's just look at what are the different things that are today driving this intelligence that cities are more and more expected to have. So of course there is Digital India. A city which is smart, of course, has to support the Digital India initiative, which means the government has to be able to communicate in a more effective way to citizens, and the citizens should have an effective and easy way to communicate to the government. Expanding urbanization, which means we should be able to expand sensibly, develop the road networks, develop public infrastructure properly, and have the right controls built in. Citizens, as more and more people go overseas, they see municipal services, public services overseas. They see how government to citizen services are being laid out in other countries, developed countries. They see the kind of amenities that other countries have. They see how water and electricity use is optimized. And they all want this in India. So there is more and more expectations for cities to become more mature and more smart. And of course, as I said, there is efficiency drive because we want to reduce the drain on natural resources, on water, electricity, and public services. And also for better investment as MNCs say, investments are going to be driven in areas that have better infrastructure, and therefore if we need that investment, we need to develop our cities. And last but not the least, sustainability. These cities will be more sustainable and help reduce our carbon footprint. So then, when we talk about all these things, what are we actually talking about? We are talking about things like, as you can see appearing on screen, traffic management, tourism, security, and so on and so forth. And I'll take a few examples. For example, in the UK, now anybody can buy a traffic monitoring device that's going to help them plan their route in their car and also tell them if there is traffic in a certain area, warn them, tell them how much time it will take more to them, and also suggest alternate routes. So that is smart traffic management. Similarly, in Germany, and this is a Vodafone app, they have developed an app where they are using machine-to-machine SIM cards installed in public parking spaces, which means, for example, if there is one parking space, there is one machine-to-machine car monitoring that space to see whether there is a car parked or not. That information is fed into a server and can be accessed by citizens. So when you are in the city center, you know where parking is available and where parking is not available. Ticketing and tolling. In places like Dubai, you don't have to stop at a toll gate. You just pass the toll gate with a smart tag, and your prepaid balance in the smart tag gets decremented. Emergency services. In Europe, places like Germany, the response rate to a person suffering from heart attack is maximum of 5 minutes and an average of 3 minutes. Recently, a person I know, not recently, about 10 years ago, a person I know in Germany had a heart attack just outside his house, and he just called the 911 services because he was still able to use his fingers, and the services arrived to that particular area in less than 2 minutes, and that life was saved. Now what this requires is understanding the traffic patterns, understanding a lot of things that go into how smart cities are created. Public transport, ability to track and trace as to where the public services are plying, and therefore telling the citizens as to when a particular bus is going to arrive, whether it's going to be 2 minutes late or so on. So an existing city could be made a smart city by starting to develop these initiatives, which is essentially a bottom-up approach. You look at public services, you look at citizen to government services, you look at services that can be deployed in the public sector, and start to develop piece by piece these initiatives, and they would then all come together and create that ecosystem. The other approach is when you start to create a new city, like for example the one the Gujarat government is creating, then using the insights which are available already, you can already create an infrastructure, and when citizens come in, then they'd be able to use that infrastructure. So essentially, aside from infrastructure, what would smart cities drive? Smart cities, from a citizen's perspective, could be either cities to live and work in, or they can be cities to retire in, right? So as a professional, when I look at which city that I want to live in, what do I consider? I consider things like what is driving that economy, so whether it's going to create jobs for me or not, whether it has the proper schooling facilities or not, whether it has the right infrastructure or not, and so on and so forth. Now a person who's past his retirement will not look at that. He would look at something else. Whether there are better healthcare facilities, whether the communities are well developed, whether there are safe neighborhoods, and so on and so forth. So the needs may differ, but essentially it rides on either an employment pillar or a quality of life pillar, driven by public services like transport, education, health, urban mobility, resource management, which further is cemented by applications like intelligent traffic management, connected homes, and workspaces, public safety, waste and energy management, and so on and so forth, which drive your social and physical infrastructure. And behind this, there is a governance layer that would be dashboards available to governments, portals available to citizens, command centers that monitor the state of these services. And all of this essentially has to get driven by a robust ICT infrastructure. So basically, in order to create a smart city or to turn an existing city into a smart city, what we need as one of the key building blocks is the right kind of connectivity. Whether that's mobile connectivity or Wi-Fi connectivity or fiber connectivity or lease lines or MPLS VPNs, you need to have that connectivity between offices and homes, between government and citizens, between public sector and private sector to drive sharing of information and the ability to share information between people as well as devices, and then between people and devices. So aside from connectivity, then what also becomes important is applications, cloud infrastructure, hosting infrastructure, converged communications, all the applications and services that can be layered on top of connectivity. And that is where I would say Vodafone comes in, because Vodafone has globally enabled smart cities through these building blocks, which is our expertise with information, communication, and technology infrastructure. We drive the connectivity and the converged communications and the cloud and hosting services, software as a service. We work with application partners to develop and run ecosystems that power smart cities. And these are just a few countries where we have actually partnered the government and other countries, system integrators, IT vendors to create either cities from scratch or start to build those applications that would gradually create those smart ecosystems into existing cities, including but not limited to enhancing public transport, optimizing street lighting, waste collection, surveillance, and the other examples that I'd given to you. So there's a number of things that Vodafone has done in Europe, countries in the Middle East and Asia, and we are extremely keen to work with the Government of India in the Digital India vision as well as their vision.